And I'm back. I may have spent the last half hour or so rewatching a certain scene from a certain episode, but I think I'm ready to continue with Carmilla Season 3, Episode 13, Warning Signs. So, last we saw Betty Spielsdorf over the phone gave them the knowledge that the second talisman is the Blade of Hoster. Let's see what they decide to do with that information.
Hey Betty, and anyone else who might be watching. It's been about 72 hours since you popped up all ex roommate ex machina, which for those of you who missed it went pretty much like this. What?
The sword.
What?
The second talisman is the Blade of Hoster.
I'm sorry, I seem to think you keep saying that the soul-sucking sword that probably only left Carmilla alive because she didn't manage to, kill anything with it is the second talisman.
Sharp as ever, Hollis. No wonder your first choice college was an evil death trap with a second-rate journal.
The snark on this one.
Is she an expert in ancient Mesopotamian languages?
My high school GPA was a 6.7 Morticia. When it turned out an evil fish god had decided to hijack my brain, I did some research. Was becoming an expert in extinct languages supposed to be hard?
Which just left us with the issue of getting our hands
I like
on the
her.
sword. Last we knew it was where Carmilla had dropped it, in the anglerfish pit. You know, the Dean and her minions from Corvée are currently engaged in the archaeological excavation of hell.
Yeah.
Like, literal, actual hell.
Okay, so we rappel down.
Repel. We have no idea how many minions the Dean has down there, or how deep the excavation goes.
Okay, so I build us ninja suits and we hang glide into... Ugh, you numbskulls always make everything way too complicated. I go in, I get the sword done.
And the possible army waiting for you?
It's a little over.
I carefully, stealthily eviscerate anyone stupid enough to get in my way.
Like the Dean.
Well, in the event we encounter her, I've narrowed down the demon list to about 5 kinds of awful she could be. There are the Sumerian ones called Lilitu. You can use an amulet to cast them out.
So a 1 in 5 chance. We play exorcism roulette with the Dean?
You know, I bet nobody ever accused Tesla of playing exorcism roulette. Sounds like your dad's plans are ready for some applied genius.
That's her dad?
Let me know when yours are.
And Dad's got a new project. Of course he does. My luck, it's probably one of those tracking chips they put in pets.
We're gonna talk about it?
Look, I know you'd much rather just lone wolf it into the pit and grab the sword.
Really, what gave you that idea?
Because it's what you always do.
We're gonna talk about...
And I get it. No fun discussing strategy with the preschoolers when you're so much smarter than us. It only gets worse when it's about your mother and your revenge, because then you might have to admit that your feelings are getting in the way. Then you might have to admit that you have feelings.
I think you better leave the insights to those who attended freshman psychology cupcake.
Like it's some profound revelation. You never want to admit how you feel. Not how angry you are. Not how scared you are that you'll never escape your mother. Not that you don't know if you can ever forgive me. Not that you aren't as confused as I am about what that kiss meant.
There it is.
I think nobody's ever kissed me to make themselves feel better.
It's not what I was...
Of course it was.
Oh.
Okay, you want to talk about feelings? You're scared, and you're lonely, and you're not sure you're up to saving the world because you couldn't even save this place. And you wanted to forget that, so you let go of your little friends act and you kiss me, and that's fine.
And it was wonderful.
But it doesn't mean I'm going to blindly go back to following your lead. I need that sword. And if you don't have a plan by sundown, I'm getting it myself.
So yes, if you were wondering, it was possible to make the Carm situation worse. For lo, I am Laura Hollis, romantic kryptonite.
I don't think it's worse, per se.
What would Hermione do? You're right. Should definitely worry about averting the apocalypse and not about the feelings. Or the kissing. So, instead of obsessing, I have found us a primo source of intel. You may remember these weird bursts of static we were getting a while back. Turns out it's Mel, who's been podcasting the lowdown from the pit on the side
Oh,
of the
yes.
Hi. So glad you found time to care. It's not like we've been down here for, 2.5 months. I can't believe I thought this was going to be an actual rescue.
Hey, this is totally an actual rescue.
The same way your glorious plan to reclaim the school ended with Lawrence, all evil dead, and the rest of us in a literal hellhole reenacting the Ten Commandments.
Okay, yes, that plan hit a few snags, but we
Glad
have a
she
new,
still has
much better
humor.
plan of which you are an essential part as our pit person. Pit insider? Ooh, embedded pit correspondent.
This is the worst.
We just need to figure out what's going on down
Oh,
there,
poor
so we
Mel.
grab the sword, collect the other talismans, defeat the dean, and let everyone go. Wham, bam,
Save her.
Laugh, are you okay? What's going on?
Yeah, no, not to throw a monkey wrench in all the planning, but I think I figured out what kind of demon the dean is.
Laugh, that's amazing. What are we looking at?
This is
Smearing
not
wind
going to be
demons,
good.
Super succubus. Ooh, terrifying gorgon. Can we exercise
Laugh's
her?
face, it's not good.
Yeah, turns out that's not so much a problem, because the dean is a god.
Well, shit! That's about the worst answer they could have gotten. Oh, alright. So, I think, Betty might be my new favorite character. Found time to study dead languages. Like it's hard? I actually kind of hope they find I doubt it, but I kind of hope they find a way to kind of bring her back to Silas, like actually in person back to Silas, but I can't really think of a plausible way to get her to get over there. But the reason I would want that is because I somewhat recently started shipping Lawdorf, Danny and Betty. I blame you, honestly, Natalie, for that. That wasn't a thing with me until I heard it from you. So I think that could be fun. Fun, especially in canon, but I doubt it. I actually don't think that's going to happen. Mel. We've seen where Mel's been for the past couple months. It's not good, but she definitely has her snark there as sort of a coping mechanism. Yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of Mel last season. She seemed a little too arrogant and self-serving, but towards the end, how she reacted to Danny's death and now this, I am warming up to her. She is fun. I'm betting Carmilla's gonna just gung-ho it because that's her style, but I don't think Laura necessarily made the relationship worse with the kiss. I mean, Carmilla had a really insightful conversation about that, but I think it is what it is, and it's just gonna keep moving them towards actually getting back together. And I guess finally, the dean is a god, like an honest to God. Sorry, pun not intended. I mean, that's not wholly unexpected. I mean, she's just been this like really, really, really old vampire up until now, but it does actually kind of make sense that she's a god. But they managed to kill off one god, a fish god, last season, so there's hope, right? Oh gosh, that's our poor heroes. They'll really need to step up their game to defeat the god. All right, well, I think I'm up for at least one more episode before I call it in. So I'll see you next video.